The Remington RM380. Some questions. Is it any good? How does it shoot? What happens with the RM380 since Remington's breakup? And the most important question, why Robin's Egg Blue? All right, we'll do the best to answer all of those questions. Stick around. I want to welcome you to Rider's Range. We're going to look at the Remington RM380. We've had this pistol for, a little more than a year, and it's an interesting little pocket gun. It has some pluses and some minuses. But let's cover the most important question first, is why Robin's Egg Blue? Well, there's a real simple answer to that, and that is because it was available at a really, really, really good price. Not that my wife favors Robin's Egg Blue, because she frankly would prefer to have a black gun. But again, I got this as a test platform more than anything else. I didn't get it for me to carry or for her to carry, although it may very well work for that. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. All right, as to what's happening with the RM380 since Remington's breakup, not a clue. Haven't found a whole lot on what's happening with this particular gun, and frankly, I would hope that somebody would pick this up and continue to make it, because it's actually not that bad of a pocket gun. Now, this gun was designed really after the Rohrbaugh 380, which really came from the Rohrbaugh 9. It's a little bit different than the Rohrbaugh in a couple of things. The Rohrbaugh had a European-style magazine release on the bottom of the grip frame, as opposed to the mag release on the RM380, which, by the way, is fully ambidextrous. It's not one that you have to change depending on your preference. It works on the left side just fine. Works on the right side just fine without having to manually change it. And the catch is in the middle of the magazine, so that you can push it from either side without having to manually switch over that release. And it doesn't stick out so far that it gets in the way of the shooting hand, but it still is easy to actuate without really changing the grip, right hand or left hand. I can push it with my index finger or my thumb. These are 6-round magazines, by the way. It comes with one flush, one extended 6-round magazine. And it comes in a variety of flavors. You can get different, at least you could get different colors. They have an executive model that's a little gussied up. They have, of course, all black, which is the more common one. But again, the price is right on this one. I want to say I paid somewhere around $150, maybe less than that for this. However, since Remington's breakup, these are scarce. Looking on the auction sites this morning, I found 3 of these, and all of them are running north of $400 right now. All of them in black, of course. Gee, I couldn't find another in Robin's Egg Blue. That's really, really too bad. Aluminum frame gun instead of polymer frame, which is nice. Stainless steel slide. I'm not sure what the finish is on this slide, but so far it's been pretty durable. I haven't carried it a lot, although this is a decent pocket carry gun. Although, like any other pocket carry, it should be carried in a holster that covers the trigger guard in the pocket. And this does make for a nice pocket carry gun in a couple of different holster styles. This one's nice because it does really disguise the pistol when it's in the pocket. Oh, as I was saying, this was based on the Rohrbaugh design. In addition to a change in the magazine release, this will have a last round hold open that, well, get the right magazine in here. That doesn't always work. You'll see that in the video where a couple times it didn't hold open. And this time it's not either. But it does supposedly have a last round hold open, although it hasn't been that reliable on this gun. Rohrbaugh didn't have that at all. Now, of course, with the slide stop lever on this isn't a slide release because it's well melded into the frame there, and it's very difficult to get a hand on it to use it to release. So ideally, this is a gun that will slingshot to release if you ever get to that point. I believe also the beaver tail on this is just a little bit bigger than it was on the Rohrbaugh, but otherwise it's based on a proven design that was actually a decent little pistol. This gun weighs in with 7 rounds of Hornady XTP 90 grain ammunition, so that's 6 in the magazine, 1 in the chamber, using the extended, well, not extended, but the magazine with the finger extension on it. This weighs in at 16.2 ounces, so 1 pound in the pocket. It's not difficult to carry at all. Trigger pull on this is strictly a double action. See, the gun is empty. There's no magazine in it now, nothing in the chamber. So it's strictly a double action, and it's a long double action pull. It's a hammer-fired gun, and the trigger doesn't break until you get almost to the back of the trigger guard there, but it stops right after the break, so there's no over travel on it. The factory says this is supposed to be a 10-pound trigger. I weigh it out an average of about 9. Sometimes it's been a little less, sometimes just a hair over 9. It's a long trigger pull though, and when I shoot my typical double action position with the first joint of my finger on the trigger, sometimes I hit the frame here and it makes it difficult to get a shot off, so I got to be careful how I position my finger on the trigger. But it does have second strike capability, although again, I've mentioned this in other videos. If the gun goes click and you're in a serious situation, you don't want it to go click again. You want to get that round out of there and keep on going. So the whole idea of a second strike to me is only handy when you're doing something like laser training with it, where you want to do repetitive shooting on or repetitive trigger pulls rather than not shooting with a laser sensing device in there for practice. Other than that, I'm not a big proponent of second strike capability because it really doesn't do anything for me. Slide serrations on it, which do make it easy to get a hold of in regardless of how you grip it. The spring tension on this is pretty mediocre. It's stronger than some, lighter than some others. Some people may have some difficulty in racking this, although if you use the push-pull method, you're pushing with your right hand or primary hand and pulling the slide the opposite direction with your secondary hand, it's not too bad. It's got, I think, glass-filled nylon grips on it. The sights on this are they are rudimentary sights. Now you can see there's not a whole lot of sight picture on that. They're all just carved into the frame, kind of like almost like a J-frame Smith & Wesson revolver. And if you have a black slide, of course the slides will be black. This being a silver finish slide, they're very light colored and not the easiest to pick up. Of course, they're not adjustable in any way, shape, or form, and you'll see when we did shoot the 3-inch bullseye, we did a 10 yards on this instead of the usual 15, but this was shooting not as tight a group as I would like, but again, it's a pocket gun with something of a sub 3-inch barrel here. But it was shooting a little left, and that means that it was we were struggling with this gun. We'll roll some of the shooting footage in here a little bit later, but 25 and 50 yards we're struggling. Of course, again, this is not designed to be a 50-yard gun. There are a couple of problems with this gun, though. One is the one I mentioned, where I don't always get a last round hole open on it. The second is the takedown pin can theoretically work its way loose. Now the takedown pin is right in that hole. You pull it back here and push the pin out from the right side, and the pin comes out. Now, if there, we got it to stick. If I pull it back slowly with the takedown pin hole facing downward, you can get a lockup on it. And obviously that's not a good thing to have happen. I turn it over and run the slide, and it'll unlock. And see, it doesn't always do it. There, got it again. One fix to this that I did see is to grease the takedown pin with some heavier grease, and the grease will help hold it in. On the other hand, the only time you're going to have a problem with this, well, now if I can get it to unlock here. The only time you're going to have a problem with this is if you're shooting it gangsta style. If you're shooting it vertically, it's not as likely to work out, and in all the shots I put through this, I've never had it come out, but that possibility does exist, and that's one of the flaws with this particular gun. So just be conscious of it, or grease the heck out of the pin, and it should stay in there when you're shooting it. So this is, again, strictly a pocket gun. It's a usable pocket gun, and actually out of all the pocket guns that I have that are second strike capable, it's actually not a bad little gun. And the fact that I could hit the 16-inch plate occasionally at 50 yards, and I even hit the 12-inch. I didn't even try the 10, but I hit the 12-inch a couple times out at 50 yards. Even some of the great shooters, Hickok 45, tried to reach out to his 22-inch gong at 80 yards and hit it 2 out of 6 times. The second time around, didn't hit it at all the first time. So again, some people struggle a little with this gun at distance, but it's not a distance gun. It's a pocket gun. So that's just a quick look at the Remington RM380 and whether or not you're going to be able to find these. If you are looking for a pocket gun, this really isn't it isn't a bad price. The trigger's decent. It shoots okay. It's been reliable. Just don't tip it to the left when you're shooting it. Don't let the last round hold open because you count 7 times and you know you got to load your gun. But again, it is decent. Now the price right now a little steep. But if you can find one for a decent price, sub $200 as it used to be, then it's not a bad little pickup. So that's it on the Remington RM380. If you like this video, we certainly do appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, click on the notifications bell so you know what's coming up in future Riders Range videos. We do appreciate it if you share this video. The more that you can share it, the more the word gets out, the higher up we can rank in the algorithms, and the more we can grow our channel, and we really, really do appreciate that. Comments on this video are appreciated down below, and comments to anything else at info@ridersrange.com. We'd like to see what ideas that you have on things you'd like to see on Riders Range. So again, that's a quick look at what apparently is no longer produced but still somewhat available, the Remington RM380, a pocket pistol. Some people call it a mouse gun, but it does get the job done. I want to thank you for stopping by Riders Range.